Whoa, before you take marital advice from anyone, ask yourself this. Would you ask a fishmonger how to grow a garden? Or maybe ask a mechanic on how to bake the perfect cake? Look, marriage is so sacred, and the advice that you take really matters. Let's talk about who you should think twice before listening to when it comes to marriage. Hi, I'm Athea, and I want to speak directly to Christian women who want to honor God in their marriages or in preparation for one. Marriage isn't just about love and companionship, and yes, those are important, but people tend to forget that it's also about a covenant before God. And the people we listen to can shape our understanding, our expectations, or even the choices that we make. So let's get into the kinds of people that I personally don't go to for marital advice and why you should be cautious too. 1. People who have never been married. It might sound harsh, but if someone hasn't walked through the realities of marriage, then they haven't faced the daily challenges, the compromises, and the responsibilities that come with it. Advice from them is theoretical, and while they may mean well, marriage is a lived experience, not theory. You can't get it from a book, you can't get it from a podcast, you can't get it from somebody else's experience. You have to live it. 2. People who have been through a bad marriage. No one talks about this, but a divorce or a toxic marriage leaves scars. And often, not always, but often, people project their pain onto other people. So if their advice comes from bitterness, resentment, or frustration, it's not healthy. And of course, they can share the lessons that they've learned, but don't let their experience be your expectation. Knowing how to avoid a bad marriage is only part of the story. What about how to pursue and live in a good marriage? They can't help you with that. And remember, your marriage doesn't have to replicate their past. 3. People who have unhealthy marital dynamics. Oh boy. Now, we all know a couple or two who have very unusual or unhealthy dynamics. Like, say, for example, the woman wears the trousers, or they live in 2 separate rooms, or 2 separate houses, or 2 separate countries. Yeah. Advice from someone like this in a clearly unbalanced marriage will be misleading in some way, shape, or form. If their marriage doesn't glorify God and it's not modeled on mutual respect, then you're better off asking somebody else. 4. Someone who has been married multiple times. I'm going there today. Repeated marriages can indicate patterns. Maybe poor choice in partners, difficulty in commitment, or unresolved personal issues. And while their experience might be helpful in some contexts, don't go to them expecting them to understand what it means to live in a God-centered, fulfilled, healthy, and whole marriage. Absolutely, learn from the mistakes. Yes, 100%. But don't take their ability to move on to the next partner as a blueprint of how you should approach marriages. 5. Someone who doesn't respect the covenant aspect of marriage. Whew, this is one. Now, we all know that God is the one who ordained marriage. So to him, it's a covenant. It's not a contract, and it's definitely not a lifestyle choice. Now, if someone sees it casually, like a romantic partnership or a social arrangement, no, they're not the person to go to, because their perspective will be completely skewed and they will completely overlook the spiritual depth and the responsibilities that are involved when it comes to a lasting God-given marriage. You want guidance that honors God's design and is not just based on human preference. 6. People who constantly complain about their spouse. Oh boy, how long you got? Someone who spends more time complaining and griping and whinging and moaning about their spouse instead of building and nurturing their relationship is not someone who understands what a God-honoring marriage looks like. And I promise you that listening to constant negativity will completely skew your perspective in marriage in so many ways, because they're not just going to limit the way they see their partner, as in that's their relationship. They will apply it to all marriages, like all men are like this, all men do this, when in fact it's just an issue between them and their spouse that they need to sort out. And 7 are people who believe that compromise is a weakness. Now, this is big. Before it just used to be an issue that men would face, but now as time is going on, I'm seeing it as an issue with both men and women, because marriage requires humility, patience, and yes, compromise. You're not always going to get your way, and you shouldn't always get your way because you're not married to yourself, you're married to somebody else. And so if you're going to someone who sees compromise as giving up or losing, their advice will likely push you towards conflict and not unity. True marital wisdom comes from those who understand both strength and grace. So choosing who you take advice from is just as important as choosing your spouse. Make sure that you surround yourself with voices that reflect God's design for marriage. People who honor the covenant, practice mutual respect, and honor love and sacrifice, and really know what that means. Whatever you do, first and foremost, make sure you pray. And that is on the basis of you having your own personal relationship with the Lord, not relying on somebody else's relationship. You need to have your own walk with Christ. As well as that, seek mentorship from couples who glorify God in their marriage. And remember, not every opinion is a divine instruction. Protect your heart, protect your future, and if you're married, protect your marriage. And here's a question for you. Which type of advice giver have you met that hasn't helped you at all? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, please share it with a sister who might need to hear this today. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.